Michael Yardney, and welcome to the next of our Rich Habits, Poor Habits regular webcasts, where it's me here in Australia and my good friend in the United States, Tom Corley. Welcome to another session, Tom.
It's great to be here, Michael. I'm so happy to be with you.
Well, interestingly, these sessions have done really well. I know on my Facebook page and on my blog, and I know on your richhabits.net blog, they've been really, really popular. People have been watching them. People have been sharing them and leaving lots of comments. So thank you very much to the viewers. And could I please say, if you enjoyed, I think the message that Tom has done in his study and the message we're wanting to get out is valuable. Clearly you do as well. So please help us help others. We're giving this freely. There's nothing to sell. Please share it on your Facebook, with Twitter, with your social media if you're enjoying it, because that helps get our message out. You'd agree with that, wouldn't you, Tom?
100%. You know, this is all about helping everybody to achieve success. And if you love people and you want to help your friends and your family, share it.
Well, today, Tom, I'd actually like to have a look at how we can convert goals into daily habits. We all set goals. We have dreams, we have ambitions. Sometimes we fine-tune them and we set goals. In your study, you found that the habits of wealthy people, of rich people, are very different to the habits of the average person, the poor person. And in previous sessions, we've talked about how long it takes to change a habit and how hard it is to change a habit. But the other good news from your study and other studies we've read is that no one was born knowing how to do money. No one was born with these habits, and they can be unlearned and replaced just like they've been learned in the past. So, Tom, if we set ourselves goals, how do we keep the willpower? How do we move to the next level? How do we change those goals into what you would call habits?
Well, willpower, Michael, is a muscle. So like any other muscle, if you exercise it, it gets stronger. Now, one of the interesting side bits that I uncovered in my research is that you can actually increase your willpower by doing certain things like exercising every day, even if it's just 15 or 20 minutes. So what you really want to do is increase your willpower using different strategies, because the willpower equals, it's a brain fuel energy hog. It sucks up energy, brain fuel. And so the brain will fight you by reducing a neurotransmitter called dopamine. When it starts to get tired, it'll decrease the dopamine level. And that's what we call a reduction in willpower. We get a little tired, we get sleepy.
I guess another thing the brain does, Tom, is likes to keep us in our little cocoon. It doesn't like change. It's a protective mechanism. It comes back from, I guess, caveman days, doesn't it? So you're talking about the chemical, the physiological method behind this. But we don't like change, and our brain doesn't like change. So you're right, you actually have to work hard. And you said there are a couple of little tricks, and I read in your work that you've got 4 of these. So can we quickly go through those, please, Tom?
So, how do you go about, creating habits to help you achieve your goals, right? Because that's really the thing. You want to create daily habits around your goals. And remember, when we had our last webcast, Michael, a web video, we talked about how important it was to create your dreams or define your dreams and then build goals around those dreams. Well, the next step is to build daily habits around your goals. The reason that's important is it puts you on autopilot for success. So you don't have to think about what you need to do or what you shouldn't be doing. You actually put it on autopilot by having certain habits. So the first thing you want to do...
May I quickly interrupt, Tom? I guess it's important to point out that most of our life, maybe 40% of our waking life actually, is run on autopilot, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah, that's right. A Duke University study, 2006, one of the longest studies on habits, or most extensive studies on habits, they found that 40% of our behaviors, our thinking, and our emotions are habits. They're automated processes.
Okay, so I interrupted, Tom. So now let's get to it. I've got a dream. I've converted it into a goal. I've written it down. I've set some timelines. How do I get to there? How do I make it a habit, Tom?
So what you want to do is, so now you list each dream, and then you want to create goals around each dream. So you could have one dream, Michael, and have 10 goals that make up that dream. So I want you to visualize a ladder. I call it the ladder of success. So one rung on the ladder is realizing one dream. As you realize each one of your dreams, you climb higher and higher up the ladder. And as you get to the top of the ladder, well, you're living the dream of your life. But what gets you there is creating goals around each dream. And then what you want to do, the next step, is you want to create daily habits around each goal. So you could have one goal, and you could have, say, 5 daily habits that help you achieve that one goal. For example, I want to become a successful author. What do I have to do? That's a goal. So I have to write every day. I may have to, try and get feedback on my writing every day. I might have to learn and read and educate myself on the best way to write by reading other people and reading books on writing. So there's a couple of goals, daily habits that you want to engage in. Now, they might take you an hour and a half a day or less. But the point is that you automate the process, the success process, by automating the daily habits around each individual goal.
So if I get it right, we start with the big picture, and then we drill down by focusing on the detail, and then we drill down further by developing a habit around each of those details, Tom.
Yeah, that's why habits are so important and so critical to your success, because most people, when they're looking at their lives and they're saying, well, I'm disgusted with my life, they don't normally think, oh, I've got to change my habits, right, Michael? They're always thinking, oh, I have to maybe get a better job, or maybe I have to go to school, or I have to change my life in some dramatic way. Not so. It may be that you have to add 1 or 2 good habits, success habits or rich habits, or eliminate 1 or 2 bad habits. It's really not as complicated as we tend to make it.
You can make it more complicated than it needs to be. But I bet along the way I have set goals, set dreams, and then stumbling blocks have come along the way. And I know that some people see that as failure, and it stops them, and they don't get up and they don't try again. But I know one of the success habits, one of the rich habits of successful people, is that they don't see failure as a stumbling block. They recognize, Tom, that it's really just part of the process. And if you didn't have failures to be able to pick up, you wouldn't actually be heading in the right direction, Tom.
No, actually, failures and obstacles are important because they force us to pivot. We have to alter our goals to fit our reality. Reality changes because as we gather more facts, as we're pursuing on our march towards success, as we gather more facts, more information, we realize, oh, well, that goal that I set and that expectation that I had, that's not realistic. I have to adjust it. I have to pivot. And that's one of the things I discovered in my research is, if you are constantly frustrated, Michael, you're going to give up. And what I found the self-millionaires do is they get frustrated just like the rest of us, but they pivot and they adjust their goals. They may lower their expectations. They may alter their goals so that they're more achievable. Why is that important? Because if you're constantly missing a goal and constantly, having unmet expectations, it causes significant unhappiness. And that's a problem because that takes away from your desire and your motivation. So what the self-made millionaires do is they adjust their goals and they manage their expectations. They might lower them, and then they meet those expectations and they achieve those goals. And guess what happens, Michael? They get so pumped up. They get passionate. It's almost like they get filled with energy and inspired again. So sometimes we set these goals and we stick to them and we run into an obstacle and then we quit because we're so frustrated. That's not what self-made millionaires do.
Tom, It's a delicate balance. You've got to actually achieve goals, set goals that stretch you, because if it's too easily achievable, it doesn't stretch you. In fact, I've found most people don't achieve what they want in life, not because they aim too high and don't get it. It's because they aim too low and get it. So what we've got to do is have unreachable goals. And I know in my mentorship program, I teach people that one of the ways you do that is by having other people around you. It's actually very difficult sometimes to achieve goals on your own. And I couldn't achieve many of the goals I've set, the company I've built, all the things I do on my own. But I can achieve much higher goals by having other people around me, team members, mentors, mastermind people, and that will help me achieve my goal, because together, well, on my own, probably I can run faster, but together we can run a lot further. And I think that's part of why we're doing this together too, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah, well, you know, you've probably heard me say this 100 times, but 1 and 1 equals 3. It's when you are able to find someone else who shares your goals and your dreams. It's as if you now have this team that doesn't equal 2 people, but equals 3 people, or maybe 4, because having an extra brain, an extra creative human being, it has a geometric effect on your ability to succeed. Not an arithmetic effect, but a geometric. It's a multiple. It's not just 1 and 1 equals 2. It's 1 and 1 equals 3.
Well, that's going to be the topic of one of our other future chats, Tom, because I know one of the success habits of rich people is that who they associate with, and they associate with the right people. Now, this is not a judge of people, because everyone's very important and everyone's very special. But having said that, you become like the people you associate with. So can we come back next week and have a bit of a chat about how to associate with the right people and how to get a mastermind group, Tom?
Sure. We'll have a great conversation on that, Michael.
I look forward to it. Thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you, Michael.